Well, a very determined drive coming back through the pack to George Fury.
You're going to see a little unfamiliar shape. That is a Rover. And it leads the Group A category, car 61, with the British pair, Jeff Allen and Armin Hahn, sharing the driving in this. And if you look just a little further back, about 4 spaces back, in fact, you'll see car number 60, the second of the Rover entries, Steve Soper and Ron Dixon. The pair of Rovers dominating the Group A category at the present time, as was expected. Whether or not it pans out that way at the end of the day remains to be seen. But of course, Australia going to Group A for touring cars entirely next year, and it's important that we keep track of what takes place here in the great race of 84 with these cars. Through the elbow, on to Conrod Straight. Denny Halm, the New Zealander, veteran, great experience, pulls out the big ones. Oh, what a nice man. Thank you very much. The view was getting just a little dirty there. That's cleared it up marvelously. Thanks very much, Denny. And that's the view you're going to get.
Well, that's a way of showing you how we'll keep the bugs off the screen, hopefully, during the course of the telecast. We have something happening up the top of the mountain. And Steve Masterton apparently has just gone into the wall on the rundown, I think, to Forest Elbow. That is not good news for the Masterton Homes 2WS race team. There has been a coming together, as you can see there, out of Alan Grice's car coming down. Whoops, there is smoke and dust. And there's Steve Masterton, by the look of it, going off the course and crash, and almost getting Grice on the way back.
No indication, really, of what caused it.
Let's hope that they can get rid of the Masterton car without causing other problems, but we're watching Peter Brock right now as he heads through the cutting, working furiously at that wheel, and takes it very wide. Up now towards the top of the mountain. And he may not have been sitting on pole position, but he's quicker than anybody right now. King of the Mountain, that title certainly suits him today. At least
James Hardie 1,000 kilometre, and we pick it up, well, virtually where we left it.
Across Skyline now.
Where is Alan Moffat?
Well, I'd say, judging the last time he went past here, he was off the pace just a little, and the reports that we have is that he's headed for the pits. It's not too much drama for Alan, because he still has his second car out there, and keeping in mind, either Alan had to pit and park the car, or Greg Hansford had to pit and park, because you have 2 drivers entered against 2 cars.
Well, Hansford's out there still circulating in 6th place, so they're still looking pretty reasonable.
Well, Hansford's doing the job at the moment. Still running strongly there on the track. Brock leading from car number 17, Dick Johnson. 3rd place held down by Alan Grice in car number 6. 4th place to George Fury in car number 15. Then 5th to John Harvey in car number 25. Greg Hansford is 6th.
Here's Dick Johnson, the Queenslander, in car 17, the big green Falcon.
Well, Dick's running 2nd on the road at the moment. Dick Johnson, for viewers around Australia, it's good morning to you from Mike Raymond. We'll be taking commentary from Dick in about 30 seconds, as soon as we get him over the top of the mountain and down into Conrod Straight.
Just under 10 seconds in arrears from Peter Brock is Dick Johnson, and then it's 29 seconds back to Alan Grice in 3rd place. Dick coming up hard on the heels of one of the Group A Rovers.
Well, he tried to pull that, but oh, what a sight coming over the hill.
Yes, he suddenly realised that Masterton's car was just round the corner and said, whoops, now we'll do it.
Okay, Johnson to the outside and now runs down the straight.
Dick Johnson, Gary Wilkinson here. How you going, pal?
I'm just fine, mate, just fine.
Yeah, it's a lot better than a lot of other people.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's been a rate of attrition.
That must be pretty dicey up the top of the elbow, Dick, where Steve Masterton's car has been parked.
It certainly is, especially when you get caught up behind some of these slow guys. They're bloody hopeless down the hill, some of them guys.
Restart didn't bother you, Dick?
Sorry again?
The restart didn't bother you?
I go into place.
Whoa, one of the Rovers is in the wall. Car 60, Steve Soper and Ron Dixon's entry. Oh, the Group A lead. They were running second, in fact, in the Group A category. The other Rover, driven by Jeff Allam and Armin Hahn, are leading the class. But the second Rover in the wall at Forest Elbow.
Well, the Rover team was another two-car entry. With me is team manager John Davenport. John, some problems on the mountain for Ron Dixon.
Yes, he's gone off on Forest Bend. I'm not quite sure why, whether it's a puncture or whether he just slid wide and hit it, but the car doesn't look too badly damaged. The only problem is to try and get it back down here to the pits.
Will you try and repair it?
We can if we get it back, but it's a long way down that straight.
And the other car, Rover, driven by Jeff Allam, of course, is leading the Group A class. You must be happy with that performance.
Yes, very pleased. Both cars were pulling away nicely. They're about a minute and a half in the lead in the class.
OK, we'll leave you there, John. Back to Mike Raymond.
Thank you, Colin. We're being, while listening to John Davenport, watching the very quick pit stop being taken here by Dick Johnson, who reported to us that he has no problems. He can run at this pace all day, but he has got in for a tyre change.
35 seconds.
And some gas. And very, very smooth pit stop for Dick Johnson. And there you can see as we take race cam.
Clear and away in 40 seconds.
That's the view as Dick Johnson will come out of the pit area. Well, that pit stop has dropped Dick Johnson back into fourth place because Peter Brock leads the grade race.
Yeah, Grice is up ahead of him, and so is Fury.
Second spot to Grice, third to Fury, fourth to Johnson, then John Harvey, and then Warren Cullen, Greg Hansford, Jim Richards in the BMW. They're then followed by car number 28, running nicely. That's Barry Lawrence and Jeff Russell. And then, of course, behind them is car number 3, and that is the Cadbury Schweppes entered car of Captain Peter Jensen and Gary Rogers. Well, that's tight. 14 involved there as well, and Johnson's trying to fight for some racing room. Dick's not really one for throwing the arms out the... Here's some fun as John English comes up behind Johnson. As I was saying, Johnson's not one to really start throwing the arms out.
He threw the tail out there.
But what we do have is we have John Harvey, you can see there in the red and white dealer team Commodore. He's one spot on the road behind Dick Johnson, and he is trying to get up there and pass Johnson, gain a spot.
Yeah, he's in 5th place. Johnson's in 4th. Traffic between them and all around them as they head up the mountain again through GTX Bend. Rock in front, Grice 2nd, Fury 3rd, Johnson 4th, Harvey 5th. And Cullen and Jones in their Commodore now up into 6th spot and doing well just ahead of Greg Hansford.
Coming up on the Ignis Commodore, which he takes nicely. Oh, here we have the race leader down through the maze. No, it's not the infield, it's Sandown, it's the pits here at Mount Panorama. And the race leader, Peter Brock. You want to look at a perfect pit stop? Just watch this. Perkins says, righto, boy, step on out. He's ready to go. Peter will help him with the shoulder straps. We have the timer going on the pit stop. This is a well-drilled crew.
Keeping an eye out for Grice as well.
We have Colin Young in the pits who will call the action for us.
Larry Perkins in the car, 4 new tyres on, the second churn of fuel just going on. Jack's down, and Larry Perkins ready to take a little bit of a problem on the left-hand front tyres. But Larry Perkins slides out of the pit area, 2 churns of fuel in and 4 new tyres for the 05 Commodore. Back to you, Mike.
Thank you very much, Colin. Well called.
The time of 31 seconds in there to get all that done. That's remarkable work by the Holden dealer team pit crew, but as Colin mentioned, a bit of a hold up on the left-hand side front, so they probably won't be completely happy with that pit stop.
Well, what we have is an interesting situation coming up because, as you can see, Dick Johnson there in 3rd. Going up Mountain Straight at the moment is Larry Perkins, and behind him Alan Grice. So that might be just the incentive Grice needs, and Fury is running at a very, very strong pace as well, doing that very, very nicely indeed.